Just about set for the opening kick of the 2000 preseason from Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Packers have won the opening toss and will receive the first kickoff of 2000 before 60,000 who are ready for football to return to Lambeau Field. Dave Barnett along with Brian Noble. John Hall is set to kick it off, the former Wisconsin Badger, now in his fourth year with the New York Jets. Badgers number 5 all-time scorer while he was in Madison. And deep you have Amon Green and Basil Mitchell set to return it for Green Bay. Second preseason game for the Jets. They nosed out New Orleans a week ago 24-20. And for the Packers, the Mike Sherman era officially underway. Short kick, bobbled, and Green returns it from inside his 15 for only about 2 or 3 yards. And the Packers will open up from their 18-yard line as Amon Green at least averts a complete disaster, a fumble of the opening kickoff. And he will stay in the opening backfield with Dorsey Levens nursing knee tendonitis. Brett Favre now in his 10th year, 5-time Pro Bowler for we'll see how long, 8-10 plays, maybe a couple of series depending on how things go from the get-go for the Packer offense. Threw more passes than anybody in the NFL last year, almost 600, and for the second year in a row, way more interceptions than he would like. He's thrown 46 the last 2 years. He also had his third 4,000-yard season. From the I formation play fake, and he looks underneath, and the first completion of the preseason is to the F-back, William Henderson, the 6-year pro out of North Carolina. Short yardage out across the 25-yard line.
Dave, I almost knew that play was going to happen somehow. Talking to Mike Sherman earlier this morning, he said that he wants to establish Brett Favre in the passing game, but also try to get that running game on track. Interestingly enough, his first play was a pass.
The goal this year, as close as they can get it to a 50-50 split, pass versus run. Last year, almost 70-30 in favor of the pass. Green with his first carry, and he should have the first down. The rest of the Packer offense featuring Wall, Verba, who moves from tackle to guard this year, Winters, Rivera, and the surprising 7th-round pick out of Wisconsin, Mark Tauscher, who has been the revelation of early camp so far. Favre in the backfield, Green, Henderson, with the receivers Freeman, Schrader, and Davis, the tight end. But we will see a lot of the first-round pick from Miami, Bubba Franks, tonight. Green does have the first down from the 29, 1st and 10. Motion from Bill Schrader. Favre on a roll, a pump fake, and incomplete. Thrown a little bit high for the intended target, Corey Bradford, that time.
A matchup, Dave, that we're going to have to keep our eye on is the Jets moved Sean Ellis, their first-round pick, defensive end, right over Mark Tauscher, the first-rounder, against a 7th-rounder over there on the corner, and they went right after that, a slight rollout right at Ellis. And the one thing the Packers don't want to see is that ball getting bounced up in the air like that.
Yeah, the Jets throwing their first-rounder, their first of 4 first-rounders this year. Sean Ellis right in a starting left end role tonight. And whistles prior to the snap.
Interesting sidebar. The Packers are trying the New York Jets run a 3-4 defense. And one thing that Mike Sherman said that he wanted to do, we'll hear the call here shortly.
Prior to the snap, false start, 88, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So that would be the first official contribution of Bubba Franks.
They said, Coach Sherman said that he wants to move around, to have a lot of movement to dictate what the Jets are doing on defense. And he said that if this starts to transpire, if we get some offsides penalties, we'll get out of that in a hurry.
Well, needing 15, 4 wides. And the delay to Green, breaks one tackle, Heads to the clear up the side, and at midfield, finally slung down out of bounds at the Jets' 47-yard line by Victor Green, the strong safety.
An excellent piece of running here by Ahman Green. This is the thing that they were hoping to get out of him, is the ability to cut back, break, and make a big gainer. And you say an outstanding job of avoiding the tackle and then just some wheels to get down and pick up some extra yardage, but a fantastic job by Ahman Green and the cutback and some fine blocking up front.
No questions about the speed and the breakaway ability of Green. 4.6 per carry last year. Number 2 rusher for the Seahawks. The only question is, will they hang on to the ball long enough to get extended playing time? Jets 47. Green off tackle this time and gouges out about 5 more. The New York Jets defense with number 1 pick Ellis up front with Ferguson and Boose. Veteran linebackers Lewis Cox Jones and Ferrier. And in their secondary, Glenn, Coleman, Green, and Williams, who gets a start.
They've got to be impressed with their ability to run against this defense. It's one thing that Coach Sherman wanted to see early.
Motion from Freeman. They continue to run Green and stacked up toward the middle after a pickup of only about a yard to the 40-yard line of the Jets this time. Jason Ferguson, the nose tackle, 4th-year pro out of Georgia, plugging the middle that time, and 3rd and 3 coming up for the Packers.
When Brett Favre has the ability to keep defenses off guard like that with the running game and the passing game, he's almost impossible to stop.
Luxury he really didn't have enough last year. Coming into the regular season will make his record 126th consecutive start. Backs up to midfield, lets it fly for Schrader. Caught, first down inside the Jet 25. Bill Schrader, the co-receiving leader last year, along with Freeman, each 74 catches.
A little disagreement there with Ahman Green and Brett regarding what his pattern was supposed to be, but a beautifully executed pass play to Billy Schrader finds a nice little hole in the. See a beautiful toss and catch right there, and that's what the Packers would like to see. Here you see Brett. He's a little upset that somebody wasn't where they were supposed to be.
Schrader was, and the Packers opening possession reaches the New York 25-yard line. Tyrone Davis switches spots. Play action again for Favre, looking over the middle for Davis, and through his hands and incomplete. Coverage that time by Marvin Jones, the right inside linebacker, who may have had just enough of a piece to knock off Davis's timing.
Dave, this is something that happened to Tyrone Davis last year. Brett Favre lost confidence in him early and then wouldn't go back to him. And if Tyrone is trying to establish himself as the number 1, if Bubba Franks can get in there, maybe the number 2, but if he continues to struggle catching the football like that, Brett will lose confidence and they'll find somebody else.
2nd down and 10. Freeman went in motion. Favre this time incomplete. Overthrowing Antonio Freeman, and 3rd and 10 coming.
And you look at Brett. There's a guy that just is having fun again. It's hard to believe he's already in his 9th year. A young man by standards, 30 years old, but by playing time, 9 years is a long time. And as you mentioned, made reference to how many games he's consecutively played in, and the kid just continues to enjoy the game of football.
Already some aches and pains early in camp. 2 blisters on his right hand, sore right elbow. Good news is right thumb that bothered him all last year, much improved. And he feels like the little aches and pains he's incurred so far will slowly go away. Swing pass, and Basil Mitchell will come down well short of the first down. He'll gain only a couple. And on will come the Packer field goal unit. So promising opening drive. And had the drop by Davis not occurred, they might be looking at 1st and goal. Instead, they'll look at about a 42-43-yard field goal try.
And you hit it on the head, Dave, is that you can't afford to have plays and drives stall like that because of a missed opportunity.
So out is Ryan Longwell. Out of the hold of Matt Hasselbeck, and his 42-yarder is good. So the Packers do get points out of their first possession of the preseason. 42-yard field goal. Ryan Longwell has Green Bay on the board. 9:46 to go. First quarter from Lambeau Field. Green Bay gets a 42-yard field goal by Ryan Longwell on their first possession to lead 3-0. And now Longwell set to kick it off. Waiting deep for the Jets, 83 Dwight Stone and 87 Lavernius Coles, rookie from Florida State. And it will be Coles on the return from his 6-yard line. Lavernius Coles, the fastest player in the history of the Florida State program. Think about how many speedsters that brings in, Deion Sanders included. Sub 4.3. They caught him in. Vinny Testaverde, the two-time Pro Bowler who missed almost all of last season, will get the Jets offense in gear for the first time tonight when we return. Vinny Testaverde, the second quarter of the opener last year, ruptured his Achilles tendon, missed the rest of the season. 5 of 9 in their preseason opening win over New Orleans, and has the New York Jets out of the 31-yard line and a whistle on their first play, which was to have been a handoff to Curtis Martin. Al Groh, the Jets' first-year head coach, 56 years
Prior
of
to the
age.
snap, false start. 80, offense. 5 yards, first down.
Not exactly the way that they wanted either team to start off on offense.
Offensive line for the Jets, Fabini, Jenkins, Mawai, a Pro Bowler, Thomas, and Young up front. Testaverde with Martin and Anderson, Grabet, and Coles, who gets a start tonight, along with another high draft pick Beck at tight end. Testaverde play fake. And the catch is made by Fred Baxter. Tight end rumbles for first down yardage and a late flag on contact after he's brought down. Tyrone Williams, the right cornerback, brought him down across the 40-yard line.
I think he had a pancake block where the offensive lineman kind of took Jude Waddy right to the ground. Jude Waddy's not an individual to stand around and let himself get blocked.
Holding, 87, offense, on the run, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Lavernius Coles called for the Jets penalty. Holiday, Maryland, Dotson, and Theory, the front four for the Packers, with Harris, and Waddy, the linebackers, and the Green Bay secondary, featuring the perennial All-Pro Leroy Butler, with Sharper at the safeties, McKenzie and Tyrone Williams opening at the corners. Promising gain wiped out back to the 31-yard line, and again first down for the third time. Testaverde throws complete for Coles and slung out of bounds by Tyrone Williams, but a big gainer to the Packer 42-yard line. Third round pick Lavernius Coles.
You mentioned his speed earlier, and this is not what the Packers wanted to see in the secondary. Leroy Butler kind of gambles out here on the inside on the first pump, comes underneath, and doesn't realize Lavernius Coles turns up the field, and Tyrone Williams is the only one left to save the touchdown.
Coles, a third rounder who no doubt would have gone higher had he not been in that Dillard's incident with Peter Warrick. And Testaverde again taking a shot at Coles, through his hands and incomplete this time, as again he goes deep up the left sideline. Coverage by Darren Sharper.
Both offenses looking very sharp. Tyrone Williams on the cover in the back. Just a quick stop and go move by Lavernius Coles, trying to get behind Tyrone Williams. Testaverde showing that he still has the nerve to throw it towards the end zone.
Coles in only 4 games last year. Dropped him all the way to the 13th wide receiver picked in the draft. On 2nd and 10, Curtis Martin with the toss and room. Angling out of bounds with another Jet first down at the 29-yard line, with Mike McKenzie guiding him toward the sideline. Martin with a club record 1,464 rushing yards last year.
It looks like the Jets just cave in the whole left side of the Packers defense. The old Packers sweep, actually. Get both guards and a tight end around the corner, and they're looking for people to block out there.
Curtis Martin, 600-yard games. Jets MVP last year. From the Packer 29, 3 wideouts. And Martin, the lone setback with the give, and veers back inside and breaks another couple of tackles. A pickup of about 9 near the 20.
9 yards a crack almost they're averaging on this drive, and the Packers defense does not look good at this point. Whatever the new scheme is, it definitely is not working. They're going to have to try to get something. I have not seen the safeties up there as that 8th man in the box yet. Something has to be ticking in their heads right now as to what is going on. I know the Jets are a fine running football team, but 9 yards a crack is not something you wanted to see.
Martin last week almost 7 yards a crack on 7 carries, 48 yards against the Saints. They give it to him again. And they close it down, but I don't think before he picks up another Jets first down here. Well, only the first preseason game, but Brian, what do you see as the Toyota keys to winning?
Well, the first thing is they got to stay with the game plan, and at this point they might want to scrap it. go to something else. Secondly, turnovers. They can't afford to have turnovers. They got that. They sustained that first drive. Unfortunately, it turned into a field goal. Thirdly, don't give up the big plays, and already on this drive they've had 4 big plays.
Jets set up at the 18, another 1st and 10. And Testaverde well protected. A shot over the middle with the flag down is intercepted by Sharper. Darren Sharper returns it near the 40. But a flag thrown right where he made the pick.
The linebackers were in coverage. Darren Sharper had a great opportunity.
Defensive holding the call.
One of the linebackers is going to get tabbed with this one. Darren Sharper sitting back in center field like a free safety should. Both
holding.
Linebackers.
54, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Jude Waddy and Bernardo Harris were both back there with the tight end. You'll see him on the left-hand side of your screen. There's Jude coming over the top. Oh, what kind of a call was that? That was a terrible, terrible call. He was actually even going for the ball, and that wasn't necessarily what I would consider holding. So the Packers got robbed on that one, Dave.
No doubt.
Yes.
Ball already passed him. Incidental contact. Very questionable whistle, and yet the Jets again line up first and 10, 18-yard line. Martin starts left, hit for a loss.
There you go.
Bernardo Harris, the little linebacker, sticks him a loss of 2.
That's what you like to see. First of all, you saw the defensive lineman in the backfield. This is what the one gap. You'll see somebody get into the backfield, penetrate, knock off. There you see the penetration back there. And David Bowen's coming off the backside, but that freed up the linebacker. He was unblocked in the hole. And that's something that when the linebackers are unblocked, great play by Bernardo Harris to get in the backfield for a loss.
Corbett in motion. Testaverde under pressure throws it away.
And again, the scheme comes into play. Darren Sharper blitzing, coming through the B gap, the guard center gap, untouched, putting pressure on Testaverde, forcing him to get rid of the ball. And in the red zone, this is something that you like to see, is that they're not sitting back and waiting as in the past. You can see the blitz right up front, a cross stunt between Bernardo Harris and Darren Sharper. And Darren Sharper's right in Testaverde's face, forcing the bad throw.
Packers defenders have talked about how this is an equal opportunity defensive scheme. It spreads the responsibility around, but it spreads the opportunity around. It won't always be the same guys blitzing. And Sharper takes advantage of his first blitzing opportunity. So 3rd and 12. Play fake. Testaverde gunning for the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Quebec.
Darren Sharper on the coverage, and this is what people were hoping to see out of Sharper after last year's performance. There was a lot of undue pressure put on Darren Sharper for some of his performances and lack of tackling. In his 4th year, they're hoping that he will kind of absorb some of the leadership and get back into the playmaker that he was his rookie year when he had all those interceptions.
Tom Tupa out to hole for John Hall. He will try a 33-yarder with virtually no angle. A straight-on attempt to tie it with 6:04 to go in the first. And Hall boots it through. So each team has had one possession, end in a field goal. And 6:01 remaining in the first quarter from Lambeau Field. The Packers 3 and the Jets 3. Mike Sherman, after a year coordinating the offense for Mike Holmgren in Seattle, taking over, and Al Groh promoted from Bill Parcells' staff with the New York Jets, and now taking over his first season as head coach as well. And they're locked into 3-3 battle with 6:01 to go in the first quarter. John Hall, after a 33-yard field goal, ready to kick deep to Amon Green and Basil Mitchell again. Green bobbled the first one, handles this one cleanly from his 10. And a flag down as he spins his way to the 27-yard line. Penalty on the kickoff backs the Packers up to their 9-yard line. That's where Favre has them lined up for their second possession of the first quarter. 3-3 game. Favre with the give through the middle to Amon Green, who has had some nice moments here the first quarter. Crosses the 15 to the 17-yard line, breaks off about 8 on first down, tackled by Victor Green.
Interestingly enough, Dave, they're going to the right side of the Packers line behind the Wisconsin native Mark Tauscher over there, staying away from Ross Verba and Mike Wall on the left side and going right side, which is very interesting this early in the game.
Coaches are just falling all over themselves, complimenting the 7th-round draft pick from Wisconsin, Mark Tauscher, giving him a chance to take charge of the run blocking here in the first quarter. Green at the line of scrimmage and then falls forward and may do so with enough yardage for the first down. In fact, he will. First down, Green Bay at the 20.
Dave, it's been a long time here in Green Bay since we have seen 2 plays, running plays, get a first down. It's nice to see the offensive line meshing together and opening up holes. On that in particular play, Amon Green actually avoided a tackler in the backfield and picked that up all on his own.
Offset eye this time, motioned by William Henderson, and Favre with plenty of time throws it away. 3 checkoffs that time and threw it in the neighborhood of Henderson, but Victor Green is also lurking in the neighborhood.
That's the maturity of an older Brett Favre compared to where he used to be. Brett would have thought about that before, about trying to force it in or maybe doing a little dance back there and trying to wait until somebody got open. But a smarter, more mature Brett Favre realizes that he can't win this game on every down, and he'll just line up and take his shot the next down.
3 out of his first 7. Victimized by a couple drops on the first series. Green veering into the clear again, and a step away from breaking that one. He's brought down at the 40, and Victor Green saves 6, I do believe.
I think he is definitely opening up some eyes here for the Green Bay Packers and their fans. You have the running ability like an Amon Green, and defenses are going to have another weapon to be considerate of. Take a look at it from the sideline. See Marco Rivera coming around on a trap play. He gets up, and Amon Green just makes the stops on a dime and makes a cut back and finds a seam and takes off.
Second leading rusher in Nebraska history, and that's saying something. Almost 3,900 career yards, part of 2 national championship teams for the Huskers. That pass almost one-handed by Antonio Freeman, but incomplete.
Take a look back at that last play. Big Mark Tauscher from Auburndale, Wisconsin. Cuts back, and when you're that tall, it doesn't take much to push a guy out of a play. And Mark Tauscher's getting indoctrinated into the NFL early here, starting his first game as a 7th-round draft pick in Lambeau Field. It must be quite a thrill for that young man.
In Madison, a starter only as a senior. A little bit of a late developer there, former walk-on. And from that status all the way to all-star status by the end of the season last year. Wipeout hit of Green. He is nailed by Marvin Jones, the 8-year veteran out of Florida State.
I love those shots. As a linebacker, Dave, you love those shots when that running back's coming around the corner and he thinks he's got an open look downfield, and all he sees is the end zone, and That has to hurt. And when you're an 8-year veteran, that really helps.
You shivered all the way up here.
My knee popped.
Marvin Jones, who missed all of the '98 season with his knee problem, back their second leading tackler last year. Regular form, it looks like here. Now 3rd and 8. And Favre, with good protection, overshoots Freeman again. They have not been able to hook up yet. And Antonio had worked into the clear deep middle. Favre knew it.
Yeah, he knew he's smiling. He knew he had it. That one's on him. Antonio Freeman one-on-one with the secondary and just boom. Great move. Only Antonio Freeman's got that unique little wiggle that he has that really sets people off.
So they'll have to kick it, and Josh Bidwell, one of the really nice stories out of Packers camp so far, launches this one. And no return whatsoever by the Jets. Dedrick Ward hit at the 15 and knocked backward. Josh Bidwell, in the process of beating cancer, has backed up New York to their 15-yard line. They'll take over from there. 3-3 game back in Lambeau Field. 2:40 to go in the first quarter, and Antonio Freeman had a frustrating first quarter. Open, but not able to take advantage of it by getting a connection from Brett Favre so far. And as they discuss it, how they can improve things, the Packer defense out, and they've got Vinny Testaverde and the Jets backed up at their 15-yard line. They go with 3 wideouts all on the left side. Motion from Dedrick Ward. Play fake to Martin. Testaverde gunning in the area over the middle where Krebet finds himself clear at the 44 with a nice pickup of 29 yards and a first down.
Dave, I don't have those statistics offhand, but I think the Jets are going to be very happy with their average per play yardage. They're carving some holes in the secondary and the defensive line of the Green Bay Packers. There was nobody anywhere near Krebet on that play, on that pass.
Krebet letting Leroy Butler know about it too. 48 catches last year. 6th year out of Hofstra, where the Jets do all their training. Martin
there you go.
Back at the line of scrimmage.
Nice reaction by Jude Waddy. The linebackers of the Green Bay Packers have got to become more active in creating more plays like that. Jude goes unblocked and then just fills the hole, gets in the backfield, and look at him there trying to create a turnover. And that's what the Packers need on this defense, is big plays and trying to create opportunities to get Brett Favre back on the field.
2nd and 9 and 5 wideouts, and the quick toss goes out to Martin, who was one of those wideouts, and drags tacklers all the way to the 45 of the Packers and a first down with 1:12 and counting in the first quarter. Darren Sharper making the tackle on Curtis Martin.
When the opportunity presents itself to make a play, you've got to come up and make the play. 3rd down and 9. The Packers had Martin back well short of a first down, and he drags 3 players for a first down.
45 seconds and counting. Motion from Wayne Krebet. Testaverde on 1st and 10 for Krebet, and a sliding catch inside the 25, and Krebet a little bit slow getting up, but that's his best catch of all here in the first quarter. Testaverde just lays it right over his shoulder as he's sliding to the 23.
You can see the Packers secondary moving on the ball. 3 guys breaking on the ball. Anthony Harris, a linebacker, trying to run with Krebet, and hopefully Krebet will win that battle.
Boy, and where Favre and his favorite target have had some difficulties connecting, no such problems for Testaverde and his favorite receiver. Never looked like Testaverde missed one beat last year, much less the entire season. That's the end of the first quarter with Krebet and Testaverde Setting up the Jets at the 23 of Green Bay for the start of the second period. Through one at Lambeau Field, a 3-3 tie in the 2000 preseason opener. Al Groh and the New York Jets tied at 3, but driving and threatening to take their first lead here at Lambeau Field. Dave Barnett and Brian Noble, 3-3 as we begin the second quarter. The Jets at the Packer 23-yard line. Vinny Testaverde probably not expecting to see action into the second quarter, but he will see this drive through. And his give is to Curtis Martin, breaks one tackle and reaches the 19-yard line.
Big, and I mean big, Russell Maryland was in the backfield trying to chase down Curtis Martin. A new addition to the Green Bay Packers defensive front, number 67, 300 and something pounds.
System at 308.
Yeah.
His helmet was the one that caused that far thumb injury in the preseason game with Oakland last year. Now on the same side. First pick of the draft by Dallas in 91. Second down. Martin tries the left side and has another first down, and it's almost first and goal. He reaches the 11. Boy, Curtis Martin and Wayne Corbett in mid-season form. Wayne Corbett last week against New Orleans, Brian, didn't play anywhere near the entire game, but gets 4 catches for 118 yards, including a 75-yard touchdown. Had it been in the regular season, that would have been the longest catch of his career.
They must be pleased with their offensive performance thus far, especially this first unit. And then, as you mentioned, the two individuals, Corbett and Martin.
So from the 11. And no pressure on Vinny. Toward the corner of the end zone and incomplete. A leaping attempt that time for Lavertius Coles, but overthrown.
Far too much time. That was something the Packers lacked last year, was pressure on the quarterback. And as immobile as Vinny Testaverde is, you would like to think that somebody could get back there and at least make him move a little bit. Vinny never moved once he hit his 5-step drop and had plenty of time to survey the entire field.
Two tight ends, Baxter and Beck. Martin behind Testaverde on 2nd and 10. Fake to Martin. Now there's some pressure. Testaverde has it incomplete and almost intercepted with a marker down. It was almost picked off by Anthony Harris, intended for Baxter, and the indication is against the Packers.
I think that'll be against Anthony Harris, the outside linebacker.
Holding, 50. Defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Mike Sherman cannot be thrilled with his defensive performance thus far. Anthony Harris in a battle right now with 4th-round draft pick Niall Diggs, who's going to get his opportunity somewhere in this second quarter, and he'll play the entire second and third quarter, and looks to be a fine young prospect. And Anthony Harris, as a veteran, should know better than to grab the tight end.
Free agent picked up from the Dolphins. So first down and goal to go from the 6. And Martin pulled down from behind by Santana Dotson, the 9-year veteran out of Baylor.
Last year, Santana suffered through, which was without question his most difficult year, not only for physical standpoint but statistical standpoint. And here you'll see him come off the corner of the pitcher and just caving people in. Santana needs to rebound. He had a pinch nerve in his neck last year that really affected his ability to play at the level that he has in the past.
Played in 114 straight, and that stinger injury cost him 4 games last year. 2nd and goal, Martin to the middle, and keeps moving the pile forward and scores. Touchdown, Curtis Martin.
A lot of Packers are on the ground on that particular play. That was right through the heart of the Packers defense. Russell Maryland, Santana Dotson, all of them. Whenever you see the defense wandering like that, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, hands on their hips, just kind of looking at each other. What went wrong? Something obviously went wrong there. A 5-yard touchdown run by Martin. John Hall for the extra point. Makes it 10-3 New York. Vinny Testaverde and Wayne Crevette and Curtis Martin. Maybe not even midseason form, playoff form in this second preseason game of 2000 for the Jets. And with 12:38 in the second quarter, they're up 10-3. Jets march down the field, take a 10-3 lead, and John Hall set to kick it to, again, Amon Green and Basil Mitchell. 12:38 remaining first half. Good deep kick this time by Hall, and it's Green from the 2. Amon Green unable to break a tackle at the 19-yard line and pulled down by Del Lee. And let's send it down to the sidelines and Chris Rod.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. Corey Bradford the other day, Wednesday morning in practice, pulled a groin. He was questionable coming into the game. He suited up, tried to go in one of the opening series in the 3 receiver sets. He has re-aggravated that groin injury, so he's not going to play anymore tonight. And he was scheduled to come in with this unit now that Matt Hasselbeck is going to be on the field. That elevates 7th-round draft choice Charles Lee. He's going to play a little earlier than expected tonight. He was pretty impressive in the scrimmage, and Mike Sherman told us this morning he could be another one of those 7th-round gems. Dave, Brian?
Yeah, disappointing for Corey Bradford, and Matt Hasselbeck will be in charge of the Packer offense when we come back. They'll start from their 19-yard line, trailing 10-3. New York Jets on top 10-3, and Brett Favre's evening is done. Matt Hasselbeck, the second-year man, former 6th-round pick out of Boston College. 3 out of 10 for all of 99. He takes charge from here. Fakes to Basil Mitchell. Throws over the middle. Complete to Bill Schrader for a first down at the 36-yard line.
Matt Hasselbeck picked up exactly where he left off last preseason. Had 127 quarterback rating last preseason. 9 touchdown passes with only 1 interception. And here he sets back in the pocket. Excellent play fake to Billy Schrader right over the middle.
In fact, had the top quarterback rating of anyone in the NFC in the preseason last year. Beat out Rick Meyer. Over the middle, William Henderson. Similar yardage inside the Jets' 45-yard line. Scott Frost, the free safety, makes his 2nd tackle in a row.
And you can bet William Henderson loves any opportunity he can get to get the ball. He only carried the ball 7 times all of last season. Does get involved in the passing game a little bit more there. A nice play fake to him into the line of scrimmage, drawing the linebacker up, and William Henderson pops right behind him.
And only 7 carries, but 30 catches. And a nice one there. Amon Green back in. He had 8 carries, 73 yards in the first quarter, and pushes forward for about 5 more there to the 40.
And that's against a pretty darn good defense there. The New York Jets have an outstanding core of linebackers, and they play the defensive game the way it's supposed to be played. And for Amon Green to come in and make that kind of a statement, 73 yards in the first quarter, that offensive line should get some pats on the back as they're driving some people off the ball, and Amon Green is getting what needs to be getting done.
3 wide, short drop, Hasselbeck complete. Bubba Franks, first rounder out of Miami, first down to the 27.
Listen to the crowd. That's what you would hope you'd get from your first-round pick. They were saying that at some point he has to fit himself into that starting role. How soon or how far down the road? But when you make plays like that, it'll be sooner than later.
Big body, great hand, 6'6", 260. Green fools nobody this time. Up into the line of scrimmage by Rick Lyle, left defensive end. Bubba Franks, the 14th overall pick in the first round, but the first tight end selected. And their hope is that Franks and Davis together, one of the best tandems in the league. Time now, our Dodge trivia question. Name the 4 players who were honored by having their number retired by the Green Bay Packers. Chew on it a while. We'll give you the answer later. Ryan already has it, of course.
Of course.
Hasselbeck. Pump fake. Brings it back in. Another pump fake. And takes off. And dives for the first down. Rather Favre-like, you have to say.
And that is what is making Matt Hasselbeck such a hot commodity in the National Football League. Is he's a very intelligent quarterback and very athletic. He's got a fine arm, but his decision-making process is exceptional. Here he doesn't try to force the ball, knows his defense is looking at his receivers, tacking his receivers, so he takes off to a 20-yard gain.
And this mostly against still the first-team Jets defense. First down from the 12 of the Jets. Fumble picked back up by Mitchell, and a huge loss. Basil Mitchell takes his eye off it before he secures the handoff, and he's buried by Shane Burton and James Ferrier.
Basil's missed some practice time this week due to an injury, and when you get in there, this is the poor handoff as far as not Matt Hasselbeck, but the way Basil Mitchell tried to receive the ball from Hasselbeck. You got to cup the ball, and he tried to catch it like a loaf of bread.
Mitchell, undrafted out of TCU, leading rusher in the preseason last year for the Packers, but backs him up with, they'll call it a loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Hasselbeck for the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown. Donald Driver. Ready for the Lambeau leap.
He slipped going in. His Lambeau leap wasn't nearly as pretty as his touchdown, but Donald Driver getting the opportunity and making the most of it. The Packers were looking for that third receiver. With Corey Bradford sitting on the sidelines, Donald Driver makes the most of his opportunity.
And for the extra point, Ryan Longwell ties it at 10. You know, if anybody ought to copyright the Lambeau leap, it's Donald Driver. He's a 7'6.5" high jumper from Alcorn State. Hasselbeck to Driver to tie it with 7:52 to go in the first half. First drive engineered by Matt Hasselbeck, an impressive one. 81 yards in only 8 plays. Driver takes it across 13 yards to tie it up.
I believe Matt Hasselbeck was perfect on that drive, I believe. I believe.
One of the key elements to the drive, his scramble to get it down near scoring range. Back deep again, Coles and Stone. And Dwight Stone gets under this Longwell kick at the 9.
Nice tackle by Scott McGarahan, a special teams demon last year, was second on the team in special teams tackles.
Donald Driver with the first touchdown of the night for Green Bay. Timeout 7:44, second quarter. Vinny Testaverde last week coming back after missing almost all last year with the Achilles. Said it's like going from the driving range to the full 18 holes, and he did a pretty good Tiger Woods imitation while he was into the first quarter. Very sharp, but he is out now, and Chad Pennington, one of their 4 first-round draft picks out of Marshall, will take over with 7:44 in the first half. From their 28-yard line, he has mostly first-team offensive players out there with him, and he goes right to the air, and Dedrick Ward almost brings in a one-handed miracle catch.
Little play-action pass by Pennington, trying to get him some opportunities in the backfield without pressure. Ward going down, trying to find a seam in the Packers secondary, and almost a miraculous catch.
Pennington in his preseason debut last week, 10 of 13, 87 yards against New Orleans, threw for over 14,000 yards at Marshall. 13-0 as a senior last year, champions of the Motor City Bowl. He tosses to Richie Anderson, who has nothing. Packers stretch out the sweep. David Bowens leading the way. Again, our Dodge trivia question. The 4 players honored by having the number retired by the Green Bay Packers were...
I'm waiting for the answer.
You're exposed. You will not see number 3, number 14, 15, or 66. Reggie White had 92 retired. Had his jersey retired, but not his number 92 retired last year.
Interesting. I did not know that.
You would have thought there'd be more than that. For instance, Forrest Gregg, Lombardi said best player he ever coached. Ward makes the over-the-shoulder catch and a foot race, and he is run down inside the 10, and Todd McBride showed Olympic speed in running down Ward.
What an effort by Todd McBride, and as a second unit, that's the type of effort it takes to make a statement, and what speed did he have to run that individual down? Chad Pennington just lays the ball out just perfect. And then Terrell Sutton tackles his own guy. And look at that catch-up speed. What an effort. Watch how far behind he is and catches this man. There he is. Look at this.
Spotted him a good 10, 12 yards.
Yes. Wow.
Give him a roster spot right now.
Yep. You can't. There was one thing you can't do, Dave, and that's coach speed. Some people have it, and some of us don't.
And Todd McBride's got a lot of it. There was also a holding call against the Packers. Obviously declined, and the Jets are set up first and goal at the 6-yard line. They would already have 6 if not for the Herculean effort by Todd McBride, second-year man out of UCLA. Jets try to break a 10-10 tie, 6.5 minutes first half. Pennington to Anderson, straight through the middle for a touchdown.
Wow. Again, right up through the middle of the Packers defense, although this is their second unit. Had a lead block by the fullback, and nobody was left to fill the hole. And he is in the end zone quite easily. Attacking the left side of the line. Nice cutback there, but you can see that's what happens when your front 7 doesn't do its job. Your secondary takes the brunt.
All for the extra point. Tupa for the hold. 17-10. Richie Anderson, the senior running back on the Jets roster, his 8th year out of Penn State. Starter at their F-back or H-back tight end hybrid type position. Like Henderson, doesn't get to carry it a whole lot, only 16 times all last year, but averaged well over 5 yards per carry when he did get to. And his touchdown puts the Jets back on top 17-10. For early preseason, both these offenses are really in tune. It's remarkable.
Well, Dave, usually at this time of the year, it's the defenses that are a little bit more advanced than the offenses. But I think you're looking at 2 maybe different types of offenses. You've got Vinny Testaverde on one side and Brett Favre on another side, and then the second quarterbacks that have come into the game have performed equally as well, and they seem to be better in sync than what either the Packers or the Jets defenses. Now, I know the Jets haven't employed a new scheme, but for the Packers, there must be some point of trying to get familiar with what their responsibilities are as a defense and where everybody's going to fit.
Two teams combining for almost 400 total yards already. This kick returned by Joey Jamison, who has shown all kinds of speed, but also all kinds of fumbleitis in the early camp, giving him a chance to return kicks with live ammo being thrown at him. 5th round pick out of Texas Southern. Let's check in down below with Chris Rock.
All right, thanks very much, Dave and Brian. I'm joined by Packers linebacker Brian Williams, who's out after having knee surgery last year and again a couple of weeks ago. Brian, how far away do you think you are from returning?
Well, I'm very optimistic, and I think Brian, my trainer, is being very optimistic about the first game. We're just pushing it hard every day, doing as much work as we can, and we're definitely trying to get out for the first game against the Jets.
Would you be frustrated, disappointed if the team has to put you on the physically unable to perform list and miss those first 6 games?
You know what? I'm really not thinking about that. I know as far as where I am in my rehab right now, I don't see myself missing the first 6 games. So I'm really not thinking about that. I'm just working as hard as I can and shooting for that first game. And if I'm not ready for that first game, I don't think it'll be 6 weeks before I'll be able to get out on the field.
Are you playing more coach than player? This new defense taking its lumps tonight a little bit?
Yeah, I think everyone's just getting acclimated to everything. And, the Jets are throwing some different formations to on us out there. And, they're playing some good football. But I think, we just have to go out there and make better plays. I think we're kind of missing some tackles out there. But all in all, I think the guys are playing hard. And like you said, you were taking some, they were getting some plays on us. But I think for the most part, everything's going to work out.
All right, Brian Williams, best of luck on your rehab. Back upstairs to Dave and Brian.
And it is definitely not a night for the defense. Another strike, Hasselbeck to Frank, setting up the Packers at midfield. Basil Mitchell carries for 1 or 2. Clock rolls inside 5 minutes.
The one thing, David, that is transpiring throughout Matt Hasselbeck being on the field is last week the Green Bay Packers traded their 3rd quarterback, Aaron Brooks, to New Orleans. And this kind of solidifies the idea that, well, if Brett Favre should go down, they've got a more than able backup quarterback in Matt Hasselbeck sitting behind him.
Spectacular last preseason. Not too bad in this first appearance of the 2000 preseason. Scrambles, gets that off, and Mitchell takes it a long way to the 33. Another first down. Run down by Aaron Glenn, Pro Bowl cornerback.
Last year, Basil Mitchell showed some excellent footwork getting into the end zone on a number of occasions. And here in the passing game, a simple screen play. Matt Hasselbeck does a good job at getting him the ball and avoids a tackle there. And you'll see pressure coming at Matt. He can't get the ball, a little sidearm flip, and Basil Mitchell is off and running. And it's hard to catch this guy, but he gets caught in the crowd there. But again, this offense is in sync right now with Matt Hasselbeck at the controls. But here he doesn't like something and needs a timeout to discuss things.
His timeout, the first call by the Packers here in the first half with 3 minutes 41 seconds. Matt Hasselbeck against mostly first-team Jet defenders. And with mostly second-team offensive players out there with him, very much in charge and making running plays, short tosses. He's got a gun at 20-25 yards. Those have been on the mark too.
Dave, it's interesting you said the second unit that's out there. Mark Tauscher's still out there. The rookie from Wisconsin is
yet to be determined what unit he's permanently on, but he was first unit and second unit as well tonight with Earl Dodson missing time with the injured back.
Al Groh is, you see Mark Tauscher, and he's working up a little sweat. Great big beast of a man, but I'll tell you, one of the nicest guys you'll see on the football field.
After the timeout, 1st and 10. Steps up, gets another swing pass off for Mitchell and run down from behind by Dwayne Gordon. Back up right inside linebacker. Pick up of about 5 for Mitchell.
Finding ways to make things work. I did a story earlier this week, Dave, on a couple players. I didn't realize, I know I'm getting old, but I didn't realize how old I truly am until I figured out that I played against Matt's dad.
Ouch. Played against Don Hasselbeck.
I'm old.
Well, I remember watching you guys when I was, I think, 2nd grade, maybe 3rd.
Not that old.
Not really. Hasselbeck is run down before he can escape. This time, John Abraham, left outside linebacker. 3rd round pick out of South Carolina. Nails him at the 32. Under 3 minutes to go. 3rd and 8 coming for the Packers. Well, that's quite a family. You got Don, the former Patriot tight end, Matt, and his brother Tim, both quarterbacks at Boston College. Tim's still there. And now younger brother Nathaniel enrolling this year, and he'll be a freshman wide receiver catching passes from brother Tim. Matt back to the air and going deep. And it is caught for a touchdown over the shoulder grab. Straight into the stands goes Charles Lee. 7th-round pick from Central Florida.
Enjoying the game of football at Lambeau Field.
Gotta admire how these rookies know exactly where to go. Don't even stop when you get to the end zone.
Giving thanks where thanks is due. You gotta like that. I mean, how impressionable is that for a first-year player to get out here in Lambeau Field in front of 65,000 people and pop up like that? Wow.
Long well for the extra point to tie it at 17. Back and forth battle continues. We have seen some spectacular preseason offense. This would be spectacular for any point in the season. Both teams well over 200 total yards. We're not yet done with the first half.
Outstanding protection from the offensive line here to give Matt Hasselbeck the time to look up and see Charles Lee streaking down the sidelines. This is just a one-on-one situation. The Green Bay Packers offense and Matt Hasselbeck try to do this at the opportune times, and when you're inside the 40-yard line or at the 40-yard line, that gives you that chance to look towards the end zone. Basil Mitchell, I believe, did an excellent job of picking up the blitzing defensive lineman there, but that ball is just, there's not much a defensive back can do on a play like that. Just boom, it is right on the money. Matt Hasselbeck continues to tear up the preseason.
Hasselbeck to leave the third of 5 7th-round draft picks for the Packers. Used to catch passes from Dante Culpepper at Central Florida. More than a little acquainted with the end zone. Whether it's Dante or Hasselbeck doing the throwing. Dwight Stone with a flag down. Stone inside the 30. One man with an angle. Does he get there before he reaches the end zone?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's coming back. They had already conferred, the officials indicating penalty against the Jets, and it wipes out a beauty of a return by Dwight Stone.
50 on the kick return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
J.J. Severud caught holding.
And Dave, I'll tell you what, J.J. Stokes isn't a young man anymore, and when you run 90 yards like this, it'll take it out of you. You can see it right there. There was a takedown right there. The flag's coming in, and Dwight Stone is off and running. There's a takedown there.
I counted 3 holdings, in fact.
He could have tossed that flag in any number of places. There you can see Todd Bell, and I just think Todd's out of gas after that last burst that he showed.
Well, I don't know what Al Groh's telling him. He ought to be saying good call, and thanks for not calling the other 2. So Stone is robbed. And the Jets set up at the 16 with 2:08 to go in the half. 17-17 tie. Chad Pennington's second series. Slips it over the middle. Slip screen, Richie Anderson.
Wow. This is a play right here. This tackle is made by Billy Lyons, the nose tackle. What a hustle by that young man. He is over the center. Watch that big guy run. 98 right there at the top, right in the middle of your screen. Runs down a running back at the sidelines. That is hustle. That is what they talk about here with this new defense, Dave. Hustling to the ball, getting around the ball, guys flying around. They need that on defense.
2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Dave Barnett and Brian Noble in the 17-17 game. Matt Hasselbeck has just engineered the game-tying drive, and now Chad Pennington with time to try and get the Jets a halftime lead. 1st and 10 from his 27-yard line. And another call for Richie Anderson, and a pickup of about 5 to the 32.
Nice tackle there by Antoine Edwards in the open field. Antoine Edwards is pushing Leroy Butler for that extra safety spot and does an excellent job coming up and making a tackle.
Mike Sherman saying Edwards may end up our MVP this year because he can play all 4 DB spots. This toss out of bounds complete to Gerald Soule, who backs up Anderson. It's quite a statement when you have a young player, Edwards, in his second year, who can play not only both safeties but both corners. Almost unheard of.
It takes a unique physical specimen to be able to do that also, and not only physically speaking, Dave, but also mentally, especially with a new defensive scheme, to be able to digest everything that they've thrown at him and play all four spots.
Last year's first-round pick out of Clemson. And it's safety this series. Pennington, sideline pattern is complete to Coles at the 44, and Chad Pennington running a pretty impressive 2-minute drill. He's still got a minute 31 to work with, and they're in Packer territory.
Chad Pennington's old teammate almost got a shot on him there. Billy Lyons, again, of course, was a teammate with Pennington with the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Let's see Billy Lyon.
Lyon undrafted at 98. Pennington, first-round pick number 3 out of their 4 this year. Steps up and delivers. Tall but brought in, and a nice stretching grab by Wendell Hayes, a 5th-round pick out of Southern Cal. They stop the clock at the 23.
The one thing that I read regarding Chad Pennington is how intelligent and dedicated he is as a young quarterback. He actually stole the access code for their facility so that he could beat people in there and get in there without being discovered that he was doing extra study time.
He is really impressive. I got a chance to visit with him at the Motor City Bowl at the end of last season. He was a Rhodes Scholar candidate. Everybody on that Marshall team remarked about how he was, without question, their leader, but at no point did he lord it over anybody and use his leadership as a position of power. He used it more as a position of bringing everybody together and causing a real feeling of friendliness from all elements of that team to come together for a 13-0 season. Back at it after a timeout. Anderson reaches the 17. They have 2 timeouts remaining.
Another running play, but Dave, for more exciting Packer preseason football, you can catch a rebroadcast of this game on your local cable system, or if you're in the greater Milwaukee area, WISN TV will rebroadcast this game at 11:05 Saturday.
Lavernius Coles takes his eye off that one. Right in his hands, and he looked away, and that stops the clock at 1:01.
So if you don't get this game, you can watch it again. ISN will have it on Saturday at 11:05.
4 wides. Pennington.
Nice catch.
Complete this time. Coles manages to scramble out of bounds and stop the clock, and wondered if the Packer scrambling off the field got off in time to avoid a 12-man penalty.
And it's very difficult for a 300-pound Clydius Hunt to go undiscovered running off the field. Big number 97 got caught.
Almost made it. He was about a step from the sideline when Pennington got that snap.
Well, the front half of his body, Dave, was actually out of bounds. It was the back half of his body that was still on the field.
Oh, so close.
Clydius Hunt's a guy I was his mentor last year here in Green Bay, and got himself busy. I'm telling you, he got in the weight room and bulked himself back up. He kind of didn't have the impact he was hoping for.
12 players on defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
But with a little extra workout and got in the weight room here, he's coming back into the game. They're going to put the meat back in the middle here with Clydius up, and actually he's playing the defensive end right now, I believe, which is another plus for him, is that he can play all 4 spots on that defensive line.
So Pennington brings him up 1st and 10 from the 12. 2 timeouts remaining and 55 seconds in the first half. Step drop, batted down. In the middle, intended for Fred Baxter and Steve Warren, the left defensive tackle. 3rd-round pick out of Nebraska got it.
They've got some fine young talent in the middle that they're hoping will transfer into production. Steve Warren defeats his blocker and sees Pennington looking right over the middle to a wide open receiver. Gets his hands up and knocks the ball down.
Took 4 seconds, 2nd and 10. Fade pattern intended in the corner for Dedrick Ward, and a flag will be thrown. There was some pretty obvious contact as Ward was wearing Tyrone Bell.
Or Tyrone Bell was actually inside his jersey.
Pass interference, 47, defense, automatic first down.
Not helping the cause, stopping the clock. Mike Morton taking the signals inside. Safety coming over to help, and there it is right there. Plus he sells it a little bit himself.
Bell never turning back, looking for the ball. Easy whistle to blow, and they do. So 1st and goal from the 3. Anderson caught from behind for a loss. David Bowens and Steve Warren with some nice quick penetration.
That's one thing that Ron Wolf says about Steve Warren is you can't ignore production. And the one thing that Steve Warren did at Nebraska, he played with Grant Windstrom, who's with the Rams. And the kid is around people that know how to play. They were successful and a part of 2 national championship teams.
Loss of 2, 13 seconds. Anderson to the middle. They try a running play, and they get the touchdown with 9 seconds remaining. They did have 2 timeouts had he not made it, but Anderson makes it with ease. And again, Packer defense gives up a running touchdown straight up the gut, and the Jets break another tie with 9 seconds to spare in the first half. Second touchdown for Anderson. And Hall adds the extra point. 24-17 New York.
Dave, the one thing that happened right there is we were praising Steve Warren so much, and he was so excited about making those plays that on that particular play, watch him come upfield, right, 95. The fullback traps him. There's your hole, and they just stay right behind the guard. And you can almost see it coming. I mean, if I was an offensive coordinator and I had a guy making plays like that on my offense, getting into the backfield so quickly, and being a young rookie like that, of course, that's what you do. Let him penetrate and trap him, and that's what the Jets did, springing him right into the secondary. But that's the 3rd touchdown now that the Packers have given up, right in the middle of the heart of the Packers defense.
Well, Curtis Martin right there, 28, scored the first, and right next to him, Richie Anderson, the last 2. John Hall has the extra points and has added a field goal and is 24-17. Final 9 seconds of the half. Joey Jamison on this return. To the 18, 2 seconds still to click off the clock. Well, regardless, been an impressive first half.
How about that? I mean, what do we have here?
You can watch 7 or 8 preseason games, not see this many offensive plays. This latest drive, 10 plays, 84 yards. And really well engineered by a first-year quarterback, Chad Pennington, who took over with just over 2 minutes to go on the clock.
Well, David, you mentioned the offensive output. You're looking over 500 yards of offense here in the first half alone. So you've got to be impressed. Conversely, if you're a defensive coach, you must be concerned.
Mightily so. I would say so. 285 total yards for the Jets, 224 through the air. Packers 251 total, 154 passing, 97 rushing. They're close to the balance they have aimed for this preseason. But some defensive issues to discuss, perhaps, as Chad Pennington engineers the game leading touchdown drive just toward the end of the first half, and by that margin the Jets take a 24-17 lead into the.
But please hurry while time is still on your side.
And back at Lambeau Field, ready for the start of the second half. Dave Barnett with Brian Noble. 24-17. Jets in an offense-dominated first half, a 7-point lead, with the two teams combining for well over 500 total yards. 286 total yards by the Jets. Mike Sherman's Green Bay offense rolling up 250 total yards. Vinny Testaverde 5 out of 9 through the air, 103 yards. Chad Pennington 5 of 8 for 122, and they threw to 8 different receivers. Corbett and Coles each 2 catches, 6 with 1 catch apiece for the Jets. Mitchell leading Packer receivers, 3 catches, 23 yards. Favre 3 of 9 for 25 yards while he was in. Hasselbeck has yet to throw an incompletion. 8 for 8 for 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Favre giving way early in the second quarter to his backup, and Hasselbeck, Brian, picking up pretty much where he was last preseason. He's been spectacular.
Well, you got to figure that at some point throughout this season, maybe you'd like to see Doug or Matt Hasselbeck get an opportunity to play.
Second half kick returned by Coles from the 5. And the 27-yard line is where the Jets offense will take over, leading 24-17. A late touchdown run, 5 yards by Richie Anderson with 9 seconds remaining the difference. First half recap brought to you by Habish, Davis, and Rotier. Total yardage, eye-popping numbers both ways. 6 Packer penalties a problem. But they had a 5-minute advantage in time of possession.
19 first downs for the New York Jets. Something the Packers defense has got to be aware of and create something there.
Chad Pennington begins the third quarter. Back at quarterback, Wendell Hayes in motion. Flag is down. And we'll see whether the completion to Vaughn Sanders stands. Sanders, one of the Jets' favorite training camp stories, a free agent rookie from Hofstra, where they have their training camp, a native of Inwood, Long Island, Lawrence High School. Offsides against Green Bay.
Offside, 96, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. First down.
Let's check in down below with Chris.
I spoke with head coach Mike Sherman walking off the field before the half. I asked him about the new defense. Was it a matchup problem or just execution? He thinks it's execution. He also pointed out the critical penalties that you just mentioned on his defense. The one thing he is pleased with, the running game, and he's very calm, as you saw this morning, guys, when we talked to him. His modus operandi, there's not a problem out here that we can't fix. There's no panic out here despite the big yardage being run up by the Jets.
Double reverse. Wendell Hayes with a wall out in front and a pickup into Packer territory, out of bounds to the 48-yard line. Run out by Tyrone Bell.
I think the one thing that Chad Pennington is going to have to learn, you mentioned the wall out in front. Part of that wall included the New York Jets first-round quarterback. You'll see number 10 coming off the corner and leading. That's vintage Brett Favre, but that's not something you would like your future doing, getting out in front and blocking linebackers and defensive backs.
One reason they loved him at Marshall. One of the guys, 6'3", 225. Chad Pennington. Straight handoff this time, and Sanders is pulled down for a loss by David Bowens.
Bowens comes to the Packers via a trade with Denver. He only had a sack and a half last year with Denver, but the thing that David Bowens brings to the football team is speed off the corner, something the Packers have been lacking. There you can see coming off the corner unblocked and running a running back down. That shows you what type of speed he has, lateral speed.
Says he's done a lot of growing up since he partied his way out of Denver. Started his college career at Michigan, set a single-season sack record there, then finished up at Western Illinois. Pass complete over on the side. Wendell Hayes makes the catch. Their 5th-round pick from USC, nicknamed Scissors because he makes such precise cuts. There aren't that many brand new nicknames. Most of them have been used and reused, but that's a new one on me. Scissors Hayes. Trojans leading receiver last year, 55 catches. 3rd and 10 from the 48. Good protection for Pennington, incomplete. Intended for Anthony Beck, his fellow first rounder. Thanking his lucky stars, Todd McBride, who made maybe the defensive play of the first half, running down the Jets after a sure touchdown. Seemed to be in the offing, and prevented one.
First punt of the afternoon for either football team. And who is back for the Packers? I believe that is Antoine Edwards and not Joey Jamison.
It is indeed Edwards. Veteran Tom Tupa gets away a nice one. Edwards fair catches it at the 10.
Veteran move, that's what you're supposed to do. Do not back up.
So the Packers will go with Hasselbeck again in charge of the offense. 12:28 to go. The third quarter, Jets by 7. Well, Matt Hasselbeck was in the huddle and suddenly breaks ranks and heads back to the sideline. Matt Hasselbeck perfect in the first half. 8 out of 8, 2 touchdowns.
I wonder what that does for a quarterback rating. 8 for 8, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Well, his preseason rating last year was 127.7. Just a little perspective, if you're in the 90s, you're probably headed to the Pro Bowl. You do it for an entire regular season. Now good to go, and out of the eye, Basil Mitchell hit hard up the middle. Mitchell, who got most of the action in the second quarter. 3 carries for 4 yards. J.J. Sebrud, inside linebacker, brought him down, a pickup of 2.
Basil Mitchell's more adept at running outside than inside with his speed, not size.
Offset eye. And Mitchell again. And again, not much there inside. Falls forward to the 15, where it'll be 3rd and 5.
Big Chad Clifton is in the game, the rookie 2nd round pick from Tennessee. An individual that they would hope would have been in camp on time. He ended up missing 12 days of practices. And that might have cost him the opportunity to make a solid contribution to this football team. You can see him there. Another huge, huge man that has a tremendous upside, but the fact that he missed those 12 days is going to cost him.
6'5", 325. Hasselbeck's first incompletion of the night. Under some heavy pressure, he got it off, intended for tight end Kasim Cencino, but 3 and out to start the third quarter for the Packers.
Matt's personal best, he threw 14 in a row at one point against the Golden Domers, the University of Notre Dame. There you see big Chad Clifton. Another opportunity. This is the third punt of the game, second by Josh Bidwell.
Josh Bidwell, who is in the process of beating testicular cancer, diagnosed last September 1st.
Nice kick.
Deep man Tony Scott calls for the fair catch, and the Jets will be set up in good shape at their 46-yard line. Bidwell still getting treatments every 4 months. He'll be monitored for 2.5 more years before they consider him completely free from cancer. Timeout, third quarter. Third quarterback of the night for the New York Jets, Ray Lucas, who was their starter most of last year with Vinny Testaverde on the mend and was 6-3 in the starting role. Ray Lucas in his 4th year out of Rutgers, where he is their all-time leading passer. He takes over at their 46-yard line, 1st and 10. And Vaughn Sanders takes it up the middle as we take it down below to Chris.
All right, thanks very much, Dave and Brian. And I know Brian's been talking about how old he feels because he's played against a couple of these Packers dads, including Matt Hasselbeck's father, Don, who is here tonight. Do you remember anything about Brian Noble?
Brian Noble was the best linebacker I ever played against. I was unbelievable.
Brian just asked me to tell you that the check's in the mail. Don, you've watched with great pride the last 2 preseasons. Matt was 8 for 8 until the last incompletion, 2 touchdowns tonight. Do you watch him only as a father or also as a 9-year pro of the NFL that can assess talent?
Well, you know, As a father, obviously first, but you know, the thing is, that's my job to say he was a good quarterback, and it was frustrating sometimes in college because the staff was always changing, and I always thought he could do it, and then I would have to ask myself, well, am I thinking that way because I'm his dad? But I always did believe he could play, and I still believe he can play, and it does get a little frustrating sometimes to think maybe he could be playing someplace else.
Well, he's behind the most durable guy everybody knows in the NFL. The Hasselbeck family well represented tonight. You have your other two sons here. Tim, a senior at BC. Nathaniel going to be a freshman. Who is the better backyard quarterback of the three?
Matthew by far was the best. He made up all the rules, so he was definitely the best.
I don't think he can do that anymore. Don Hasselbeck, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the game.
Thank you.
There you go, Brian. Feeling any younger?
Thanks for that one, Chris. I appreciate that.
You ought to be feeling poorer. How big a check is that?
But, you know, you kind of got the true perspective of Don Hasselbeck. He's 6'8". And the only highlight, I told Matt I was doing that story, and he says, do you have any highlights of my dad? I said,
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 27, defense, 15-yard penalty from the reception, first down.
It's on Todd McBride.
Ouch. Those are mistakes that rookies can't make. And I told him I went back and found highlights of his dad when we played the New York Giants right here in Green Bay at Lambeau Field, and the only highlight I found was him beating me for a touchdown. So that wasn't the best of circumstances for which I wanted to air on our television station.
Well, McBride hit with the roughing penalty as Hayes brought in the completion, and with the mark off, Jets go from the 26 of the Packers, 1st and 10, already leading 24-17. 10 minutes to go, third quarter. Lucas on a roll, batted up in the air and intercepted. Wow. Big play again made by the third rounder out of Nebraska, Steve Warren.
Good things happen to guys that hustle. You've seen the Packers defensive line flying around all day, and this is the benefit of it. Somebody comes up with a big play.
Warren almost had a sack a couple of plays ago. Now he gets the takeaway. Packers ball when we come back. Quite a moment for a rookie. Steve Warren, after the interception, still getting congratulations from the veterans over on the bench.
Rollout pass here by Ray Lucas, and a fine play there by Todd McBride. He actually makes up for the penalty that he got. You can see good coverage, gets the hand on the ball, and that's just tremendous hustle. I made reference to it earlier about the defensive line and Ed Donatel and his scheme on the defense. One of the things that he preaches is flying around and getting to the football, and that's the benefit of that.
Things like that happen. Warren turns it over to Hasselbeck, and the offense at the 13. Hasselbeck, like he did in their backyard growing up, makes it up on the run, and he hits Kasim Cincino for a first down gain.
Kasim Cincino again came in a trade with Philadelphia, straight across for tight end Jeff Thomason. Ron Wolf tends to like age. He looks at age, and Cincino's a second-year player with a tremendous upside. Good blocking back, or good blocking tight end that the Packers probably lack with Bubba Franks and Tyrone Davis, both more of a wide receiver passing game type tight ends, and Kasim Cincino is more of a blocking tight end.
Gain of 19. First down at the 32. Draw play. And the first carry for Rondell Mealy, one of the many 7th-round draft picks out of LSU.
For Green Bay Packer fans, you look at this young man, and he has a striking resemblance not only because of the number 32 that he wears, but just his posturing and the way he carries the football and runs to one great back that the Packers used to have here, Edgar Bennett, number 32. Looks almost identical in that uniform.
Mealy, for 3 years, second leading rusher for the Tigers behind Kevin Falk, now with the Patriots. Catch over the middle, Donald Driver, and hit immediately. And rather rudely that time by Casey Daly, third-year linebacker out of Northwestern.
Yeah, that was a nice hit, but Matt kind of led him into that, and it's kind of nice to see, though, that Donald Driver knows he's going to get hit here. He knows the shot's coming, and he hangs on to that football. That's good to see from a young man.
Driver, who had one of the Packer touchdowns, 15-yard catch in the first half, sets him up for 3rd and 3. And they'll get the first down and more on Bobby Brown's first reception of the night to the 45-yard line for the rookie free agent from Notre Dame.
Well, the receiving core thus far is looking good. Like I said, the Packers are looking for that 3rd, 4th, and possibly even 5th receiver. And Bobby Brown is an individual who's right on the fringe of finding a roster spot, and with plays like that, he might be okay.
8 different Packer receivers with at least 1 catch now. From the 45, Mealy off tackle for a couple. First contact came from Dax Strohmeyer, outside linebacker.
Rondell Mealy has shown some excellent running ability in practices thus far. Just some really good moves, and sometimes a running back has that innate ability just to kind of feel where he's going, and he's one of those guys. He has that feel for the running game, not just point him in the right direction and he goes. He kind of finds the seam.
Even though he was a backup most of his career, the 6th leading rusher in LSU history. Incomplete, and a late hit on Strohmeyer will draw the flag. As well it should. Ball uncatchable for Mealy, bounced off his hand, and Strohmeyer just kept coming.
Personal foul, 46, defense, late hit, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that's a lonely place where he just went to, the bench. Al Grove cannot be pleased with a play like that turns the Packers right around and gives them a first down. This is, I mean, that was a shot. That wasn't a holdup. That was a full-blown shot.
Now, was it important for Dax to make sure he exited the field as far from the nearest coach as possible?
Definitely.
Packers will gladly accept the mark off up to the 38. Donald Driver can't bring that one in.
Catch it first. Can't run without the ball. And he knows it. Yep, Matt's telling you, hang on to the ball. Looks like he's got a little, he did dislocate one of his fingers in the first minicamp trying to catch a pass from Brett Favre. You can see he's got his middle finger on his right hand taped up. Had some problems with that in the second minicamp. Started catching a lot of balls into his chest, and now he's getting back to his old shape.
Hasselbeck, blitz picked up nicely, winging one deep for Lee in the end zone. It incomplete, and there was some contact down there, but they won't throw the flag on Otis Smith.
Much to the displeasure of Lambeau.
Charles Lee, for most of this pattern, looks to have Smith beat.
Oh, he's got him beat, Dave. Right there. He's turned around, and right there's contact. But he was looking back for the ball and probably got that benefit from the referee. Had he been trying to hang on to him, the fans are seeing the replay up on the board, but that was a pretty decent call.
3rd and 10, still from the 38. And the draw play for Mealy will pick up 4 and no more. So if they want to go field goal, they're looking at about a 51-yarder. And Longwell will jog on out there. Why not try a 51-yarder in preseason?
And Ryan can make this field goal. He's got a very strong leg and the most accurate kicker in Packer history.
Career long is 50, so it's actually going to be a 52-yard try. Hasselbeck puts down a good hold. This one has enough leg, and it is good. If it's the regular season, it's the longest of the career for Ryan Longwell. 52-yard field goal for the first points of the second half. 5:45 of the third, they're within 4. Ryan Longwell has made 84% of his field goals over the career. None longer than that last one. 52-yarder makes it 24-20 New York. 5:45 to go in the third quarter. Stone on the return from deny. One tackle and got blasted at the 29-yard line by K.D. Williams.
Only been on the Packers for maybe a little bit more than a week. A former Oakland Raider comes to Green Bay and makes a solid impact very quickly.
Former Skycap before he was an Oakland Raider.
A Skycap?
A Skycap who you would think would really appreciate the life of a pro football player.
Watch the shot he's going to take. Everybody squares up and booyah! Forming him up.
That's where you make a team, make an impression on a hit like that. 29-yard line. Lucas, still the Jets quarterback. Give on the draw play to Gerald Soule. Into the secondary and close to first down yardage for the four-year pro out of Tulane, former Packer. And the tackle by free safety Scott McGarrahan.
Packers haven't had too much success stopping the running game inside the tackles, and here's another prime example. Steve Warren getting pushed out on the right side and opening up a nice hole for Gerald Soule.
Just shy of the first down marker, so second and less than one. Wendell Hayes in motion. This give is to Vaughn Sanders. He'll be close for the first down. They called him the feel-good story of their camp. He was within 6 yards of the Hofstra school rushing record when he broke his left leg and tore ligaments in his ankle and ended his senior year. Giving him a chance to make the team as a free agent, he says, my heart is better than my talent, and that's why he thinks he has a shot. He is from where the Jets train on Long Island, Inwood, Long Island, Hofstra University. A home backyard product. Comes up just shy and third and inches. Bobbled and jumped on by Lucas as the Packers blow a golden chance to recover them.
Yeah, that one hurts. You got to capitalize on the opportunities, especially when they fall right in your lap. And I think Todd McBride was just a little bit too anxious to get that and maybe thought about picking it up rather than just jumping on it. But nevertheless, they force a punt. And Joey Jamison is back deep to return this punt.
Means we could have an adventure. Zupa bangs another big one. Jamison, no problem until he is upended. Big time by Fred Coleman at the 20.
Well, it doesn't take much, Dave, to get a good shot on a guy like Joey Jamison, who stands about 5'9" and 175 pounds. We've got a penalty down here. Illegal man downfield. I'd like to say at this point, this broadcast is authorized under the broadcasting rights granted by the Green Bay Packers Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience, and any publication or rebroadcast or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the written consent of the Green Bay Packers Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Masterfully done. I can see why you insisted on handling the honors there.
Ineligible player on the kicking team, number 47, illegally downfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, fourth down.
Scott Frost, Jets safety, former Nebraska quarterback, I should say. Quarterback for national championship Nebraska team.
6'4" and 225 pounds. He ran by me on the sidelines before the game, and I realized it was him, and I was thinking, man, that's an option quarterback. Wow.
We didn't enjoy tackling him too terribly often in the option. Tupa again.
Very returnable punt here.
Lowe takes a jet hop. Jamison is hit first by Frost and then finished off after a short return again by his old friend Fred Coleman. They had met previously. Danny Werfel will check in as the new Packer quarterback with 3:44 to go in the third. 1996 Heisman Trophy winner Danny Werfel. National champion that year with Florida. Had a trial with New Orleans, and with the Rhine Fire of NFL Europe set a league record for yards and touchdowns this past spring. 13 behind Favre and Hasselbeck, and his first play is to give to Rondell Neely as we run down to 3.5 minutes in the third quarter. Danny Werfel, 6'1", 212. Never given credit for enough arm to stick and make a real impact in the NFL, but I think he opened some eyes with the numbers he put up in Rhine this past spring.
Oftentimes, Dave, it's just finding the right system and the right situation, and he just hasn't been there yet.
Maybe this is the system for him. And Steve Spurrier's system to perfection. That throw, what a catch! Over the middle, Bobby Brown hangs on somehow. Mercy.
There will be some decisions that have to be made, and some guys are making some awfully strong statements for their situation. What a beautiful grab. Going up, getting it right from the end zone, getting some elevation, knowing you're going to get hit.
Seen some great catches tonight. That's the catch of the night, without much question. Rondell Neely near midfield, cut down to the 48.
That was a scrum. That was one of those scrum runs. Run to the right side, there's a big pile of bodies, falls forward, you got 2 yards.
I love it in rugby. See, Werfel listed at 6'1". May not be quite even 6 feet.
Yeah, so is Doug Flutie.
Flutie like 5'9", maybe 5'10" for Werfel. Other play fake. Feels pressure, steps up, delivers incomplete. Intended for Matt Snyder. In at fullback. And 3rd and 7 coming.
Matt Snyder played in a college whose nickname is the Spiders.
Snyder the Spider from Richmond.
Snyder the Spider.
Saw where you were heading there.
Yeah. You took my punchline, Dave.
Sorry, I'll give it back. Picked him up off waivers from Carolina Panthers. Snyder back to the bench. Werfel on 3rd and 7. Blitz comes, gets it off. And again, Brown paying a heavy price. Wipeout hit over the middle by John Abraham. Short of the first down.
Taking a shot from a defensive lineman, and he hangs on to the ball. Give him kudos for that, but you got to kind of look where you're going.
And on to punt for the first time tonight for the Packers is Tom Hutton. Tony Scott waits for it at his 10. Hutton having a spirited but friendly competition right now with Josh Bidwell. Dangerous way to bring that punt in. Tony Scott keeps possession and keeps his footing and reaches the 23-yard line with 1:10 to go in the 3rd.
Big Matt Snyder is going to pull his chin strap out from under his nose. Matt's a guy fighting another. They just signed Marvin Powell, another fullback, and William Henderson. They've only got 3 fullbacks, and Snyder's an individual that needs to do some things, some special kind of things in order to solidify that spot as the second, if they keep 2 fullbacks.
2 or 3 more plays to go here in the 3rd quarter as Lucas keeps it on the ground for Vaughn Sanders. 5'11", 210-pounder. Snyder getting that needed attention over there.
He got popped pretty good on that last punt, and that's either a stinger or a separation.
Well, what do you hope for if that's your choice?
Well, they're looking in the elbows. That's probably one of those. You got a helmet right on the funny bone. Tends to hurt a little bit.
Lucas again up the middle for Sanders. And to the 31-yard line on what may be the last play of the 3rd quarter. After all the scoring and the fireworks we saw in the first half, only 3 points scored here in the third quarter, but even those 3 points were pretty memorable. A 52-yard field goal by Ryan Longwell pulled the Packers within 4. And the Jets will head toward the other end of the field with a 4-point lead as we head to the fourth quarter at Lambeau Field. With our score, New York 24, Green Bay 20.
Why is Gandard Chevrolet the area's only GM certified used vehicle dealer?
Back for the start of the fourth quarter at Lambeau Field. Dave Barnett, Brian Noble, and Chris Roth. 24-20 New York. They take over to begin the quarter at the 31-yard line. Third down and 2. Nearly 60,000 filling Lambeau Field in the preseason opener for 2000. Packers with about a 6-minute advantage in time of possession. 27-yard rushing advantage. Jets through the air. 250 to 201. Marker down as Lucas throws complete, and if the play stands, it's first down yardage on the catch by Wendell Hayes. Bill Carollo, the referee, will let us know.
From Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Bill Carollo is. First time he's ever done a game, had the opportunity to be the ref in Lambeau Field. He can't do it during the regular season, so he got a preseason game.
Offside, 99, defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
Jermaine Smith, defensive tackle, caught offside.
Individual fighting back from a dislocated or compound fractured elbow in a motorcycle accident 2 years ago.
Hurts to even think about it. Lucas on first down, pressure, throws intercepted. Todd McBride will return it for a touchdown. Well, Todd McBride is on this highlight reel twice tonight. He makes a touchdown-saving tackle in the first half and scores a touchdown here in the fourth quarter.
Great pressure up front is what sets this play off. Pressure by the defensive line on a blitz play, and Todd McBride reads it to perfection, cutting underneath the receiver. You can see the pressure inside by Jermaine Smith, who just got a great jump on the ball after being offsides, and Todd McBride turns it into 6.
40 yards untouched. Longwell adds the PAT, and the Packers go in front. 27-24. Bang, bang start to the fourth quarter. Todd McBride, second-year corner out of UCLA, puts Green Bay on top. Todd McBride was a wide receiver at UCLA until his senior year. Was not drafted. Mike Sherman brought him over after Seattle waived him. Cornerback, safety, nickelback candidate. Really helped solidify his chances of making this team tonight. 2 spectacular plays. They call that officially a 41-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Kevin Williams returns this kick.
Nice shot.
Not for very long. Spilled at the 32-yard line by Mealy. Rondell with a special teams hit.
Well, I've been impressed thus far with the Packers taking their shots tonight. It's been a while since I've seen some significant hits by anybody on this football team, and today they've received a few shots, but they've also delivered their fair share. And Rondell Mealy gave one out right there.
Now Ray Lucas, how will he respond after serving up 6 the wrong way? Last week, 10 out of 11, 88 yards and a touchdown against the Saints. They won that one 24-20. Now trailing this one by 3. Sanders takes the swing pass for short yardage. Reaches the 36-yard line. Eugene McCaslin, another 7th-round draft pick out of Florida, there for the stop.
Another kid that came from a big program. And Ron Wolf, you know, although he's noted for finding the diamonds in the rough, he likes guys that have been involved in major programs and been involved in major games, have seen the big time, and Eugene McClaslin is one.
Yeah, that's real obvious when you look up and down the roster.
There's a clip.
Caught by Jermaine Wiggins, extra tight end, his first catch of the night.
Looks like the Jets got it away with another one there. There was an obvious clip right in front of the referee. There's no way he got his head across the bow on Todd McBride. You'll see it up here at the top. A nice play fake, roll out to the left side. He had a number of receivers to go to, but this right there is a clip.
Yeah, it was. They didn't call it, though, on Yatil Green. Gets away with it. First down. Up to the 46. Play fake. Lucas feels heat. Keeps it up the middle. Knocked down at midfield by Ron Moore. Yet another 7th-round draft pick. Everywhere you look, there's 7th-round picks. They had 5 of them. Here's one of them from Northwestern Oklahoma State, the NAIA National Championship Program.
Kabir Baja-Biamila came off the corner to apply that pressure. Number 94. Even all that spelled across his back is still hard to say. Baja-Biamila.
What's it mean, though?
I believe it means big man save me.
Big man, come and save me. There's from Nigeria. Lucas lets one go deep, and it is caught inside the 20-yard line. Jermaine Wiggins to the 17 with another marker down, though. Lucas on the money, and a nice stretching catch by Wiggins. Penalties against the Jets, though.
And they also got away with another one, I believe.
Illegal shift, 2-man moving, and not all 11 setting. 5-yard penalty, second down.
I'm sure we're going to see a replay of this, and the tight end down the field actually gets a more than a nice shove on the linebacker in coverage to get separation. You'll see number 85 coming off the ball here. Baja-Biamila getting pressure off the side, gets locked up pretty good. Kabir wants to be that pressure, but here you're going to see it right from the back. The pass down the field, and right there you got your separation. Nice little shove and a foot to the face.
Wiggins' nice catch is wiped out. Second down and 11 back at the 44. Lucas again deep. Oh. Receiver slips on the pattern, and McBride almost has another interception.
Well, sometimes when you have that night or have that day, take advantage of it. Todd misses his second interception of the night by a wee hair. Receiver trips and falls down, slips on the grass, and oh, he should have had that one.
Lavernius Coles who loses his footing.
What can I do, Ray? What can I do?
Lucas ready to argue that one was not going to be his fault. McBride had brought that one in. 3rd and 11. Complete this time, and it's going to be very close to the first down for Wendell Hayes. And in fact, as he fights for the extra yardage, I think he's going to get the first down by inches. Knew right where he needed to get, the 44. And they will not even need a measurement. First down already signaled.
Well, Gary Berry, number 21 for the Packers, a safety fighting for a spot, a fine young athlete from Ohio State, had him, but when his help came to get him, the Packers actually helped the Jets get the first down. You should have realized Gary was holding him back and kind of got around in front and helped Gary push him back, but instead they went after the shot and pushed him forward.
Jets drive still alive. Lucas to Sanders. Breaks the tackle, gets about 5 extra yards. He got away from the initial hit by Kevin Johnson, and out of bounds at the 36-yard line goes Vaughn Sanders.
Kevin Johnson was an undrafted free agent and a teammate of Gary Berry and Niall Diggs at Ohio State. Another individual fighting for a roster spot that Although the Packers are thin at linebacker, he's got to find a fit somewhere.
Well, you keep mentioning the big-time programs. Everywhere you look on this defensive roster, you got Nebraska, Florida, Florida State, North Carolina. Wipeout hit Sanders for a big loss, courtesy Niall Diggs, big-time linebacker at Ohio State and a 4th-round draft pick.
Well, they have huge aspirations for Niall. You can see him just blitzing right off the corner, unblocked, and it's been a while. I made reference to it earlier. It's been a while since a linebacker of the Green Bay Packers has laid a hat on anybody, and Niall Diggs, they're hoping with his size, his combination, 6'4", 235, 240, and speed, he runs a 4.5, 4.6 40, can do some unique things for this defense.
Came out early, a little bit disappointing as a junior, and that knocked him from possible 1st-round consideration down to the 4th. They think he may start here, though. Throw on the run, incomplete. Intended for Coles. He couldn't hang on.
All the speed in the world, Dave, doesn't make up for a lack of hands. That ball should have been caught. A sprint out to the right. They got pretty good. Todd McBride has very good containment, forcing the throw, but that ball hits him right in the hands. Coles has got to come up with that catch.
Lavernius leaving Florida State after the 98% discount program was discontinued at Dillard's.
Ouch.
And it cost Peter Warrick the Heisman, and Coles several rounds in the draft, probably. Tupou with a pooch kick. Jamison waves it off, and it'll be down at the 7-yard line. Timeout with 9:44 to go. The Packers back up at their own end, but trying to add to a 3-point lead.
Get ready.
This world-class event is a winner. Toyota.
13th head coach in the 81 years of the Green Bay Packers franchise. Mike Sherman trying to win his first game in Lambeau Field. He leads by 3 with 9:44 remaining. Brett Favre was 3 out of 9 for 25 yards while he was in briefly. Never hooked up with Antonio Freeman. They tried a few times. Favre overthrew him once when he was wide open over the middle. They have been spectating since the early moments of the 2nd quarter. And they've seen a pretty impressive show put on by Matt Hasselbeck. And now Danny Werfel in charge of the Packer offense. We expect the rest of the way. 1st and 10 from the 15. Rondell Mealy heading left. Turn back after a pickup of 1.
One of the, you made reference to a feel-good story for the Jets earlier in our broadcast. A feel-good story for the Green Bay Packers has got to be Craig Heimberger from a small school. He played in NFL Europe and did some unique things over there. Played for the championship and now fighting for a spot, making a couple good blocks.
Mealy up the middle to the 21. It'll be 3rd and 4. Big Heimberger, 6'2", 312, 5th-round draft pick a year ago.
Played for the Rhine Fire last year in the I shouldn't say last year, this past spring. Played for the championship.
Alongside Werfel, in fact. And now up there blocking for him in Green Bay. 4 wide receivers. Werfel throws complete, and breaking the tackle for the first down is Cincino. The tight end, 3rd-year man out of Syracuse, brought down at the 34. 1st down, Green Bay. Omar Stoutmeyer finally caught him.
And oh so close had he been able to regain his balance of going a little bit further. Nice pass by Danny Werfel. He seems to be getting himself into sync, and it hasn't taken him too long to digest this new scheme.
Quick study. Probably the best ever to absorb the complicated Steve Spurrier system at Florida. Spurrier himself would tell you that. Mealy, nice 1st down yardage up the middle that time. As they roll the clock, just about halfway through the 4th quarter. Gain of 7.
Rondell Mealy had a lead play on there, and Matt Snyder found out what playing against a middle linebacker in the National Football League is all about. He got tattooed on that play, but Rondell did a good job of avoiding that and getting some positive yardage.
Snyder in motion. No gain this time for Mealy. And up on a quick hit up the middle.
Matt missed his block on that one as well. It's hard to get going when the guys in front of you aren't getting their job accomplished. Rondell's got the unique running style. I referenced it earlier regarding Edgar Bennett. He runs hunched, but he's got high knees, which is very unique. And it's difficult to bring a guy down like that. You'd think it'd be easy, but he's always leaning forward.
Mealy again on 3rd and 3. A nice burst into the secondary and a first down into the arms of Dwayne Gordon, inside linebacker. Well, Rondell getting opportunity after opportunity this series.
Getting his groove on. Excellent cutback. Seeing the field. I mentioned the innate ability to kind of feel what's going on rather than to see it. And he makes an excellent cut back against the grain for a nice 9-10 yard pickup. Never missed a game while he played at Louisiana State University.
Hard running 219-pounder down to the 6-minute mark. Packers would love to keep this drive going on the ground and keep chewing clock. Mealy again. Jets now trying to play strip the ball, unable to do so. Gain of 6 on first down this time for Rondell, brought down by Shane Burton.
Well, the best defense, Dave, is a better offense, and if you can keep moving the chains the way the Packers are, and especially by doing it on the ground. Al Groh over there is a little bewildered in the inability of his defense to stop the Packers' third-team offense from converting first downs.
Al Groh takes over the definitive 500 team. They were 8-8 a year ago, 4-4 at home, 4-4 on the road, 4-4 in their division, 6-6 in their conference, 2-2 non-conference. Nice burst by Herbert Goodman to pick up the first down. Jets last year scored 308 points. They allowed 309 points. You cannot get any more 500 than they were.
Herbert Goodman from that powerhouse University of Graceland.
And that is not in Nashville. I've researched this.
I just found Graceland to be someplace that I'm sure a lot of people have never heard of.
Lamoni, Iowa. I feel sure most people have never heard of. But he led Division II, 6.9 yards per carry and 15 points per game last year. And Goodman getting a chance to keep this drive going that Rondell Mealy's runs ignited. We're under 4.5 minutes.
Herbert Goodman, again, 5'11", 203 pounds. Not exceptionally big, but a great base of gravity. Running strong. See the tilt, see the lane. Nice cuts running through tackles. Right now, the Packers, they weren't too effective running the football earlier in the game, with the exception of Amon Green. Now they continue this.
Another great nickname. We talked about Windrell Scissors Hayes. How about Herbert Whisper Goodman? Quiet but effective. And for almost 1,400 yards as a senior at Graceland, and that's first down yardage, and we're down to 3:42 and counting. And this looking more and more like it will be the last drive needed for the Packers in scoring range.
Led division, the NAIA Division II, with almost 9 yards a carry. I mean, that's putting some yards under your feet.
Nickname is Whisper, but his actions speak loudly.
Oh, good.
3:15 on the clock. Snyder still the fullback. Goodman caught in the backfield this time. He had no chance. Courtney Ledyard leaped on top of him. First-year man out of Michigan State.
Well, you have to wonder when the Jets will start taking chances if they want to prevent this drive. He shoots a gap as Craig Heimberger. You can see him pull around, and the linebacker just shoots the gap. There's not much you can do about that. The Jets gambled, and it paid off.
Ledyard in his second Jets camp hoping to stick this year. and 2nd and 15 coming. After which clock may well be at the 2-minute warning. Out of the eye, another give to Herbert Goodman. Not much, a couple. So they will use a timeout here. Jets call their first with 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining, and then we'll come back, and then Packers will wind it down to the 2-minute warning. They're trying to solidify a 3-point lead late at Lambeau. Back with 2:16 remaining the fourth quarter. Time to take a look back at our Chevrolet sack of the game. Unfortunately, we have no sack of the game because both offensive lines were like a rock.
Oh, that was good.
So,
like Chevy tough.
We'd show you one if we had one. Those guys had their moments, though. Warren and Bowens. 3rd and 13, and Werfel chased and will keep in a foot race for the sideline. He does not get out of bounds. He's at the 17-yard line, and the clock will roll to the 2-minute warning. Chased down by Shane Burton.
A speed demon he is not.
Not the reason he won the Heisman 4 years ago. 2-minute warning. 4th and 2 coming for the Packers, leading by 3. In this touchdown pass, Matt Hasselbeck hooking up with Donald Driver.
Beautifully executed pass play, nice protection, and Hasselbeck fires it right to him. Donald Driver had an outstanding football game, and that's what you like to see out of your second unit. Somebody coming up, and like you had mentioned his leaping ability, but whoa!
Oh, that's a 7'6" high jumper there.
Oh.
Whether he looked like it that time or not. 4th down and 2. And Longwell will try a 35-yard field goal for a 6-point lead. He's got a 52-yarder already tonight. And this one is up and good. Jets will have 1:57 to work with, and they need a touchdown. 30-24.
Lathrop Furniture and Appliance is closing their appliance department. That's right.
Back for the Green Bay Packers. 8 for 8 in the second quarter. A couple of misses here in the second half, but on the whole, another spectacular preseason effort. 11 of 15, 162, and 2 touchdowns through the air. Longwell's kick takes a high hop, and Kevin Williams coughs it up. Loose at the 16-yard line, and the Packers are saying they've recovered it.
Stay in the pile, fellas.
Officials still haven't said a thing. Now they do. Green Bay ball. Recovered by K.D. Williams. The second big play he's made tonight.
The special teams haven't been all that outstanding tonight. Punting game was well, and Ryan Longwell's kicking, but overall their coverage on the kickoffs has not been that outstanding. But right here, oh, that's a nice shot. That's called hit and separate. Guys flying around making things happen, and when you got young guys out there, this is a shot right here.
Terrell Sutton delivers the hit.
Hat on the ball. Beautifully executed play by the special teams. That's how you make a statement that you want to be part of the football team.
So Al Groh with 2 timeouts, but a growing feeling of helplessness. Only 1:52 remaining, and both lines move. Two timeouts left at worst.
Prior to the snap, false start. 79 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They get Barry Stokes. Could have gotten a lot of folks that time. At worst, Packers run 3 plays, add another field goal, and really put it out of reach. Jets with 2 timeouts to try and slow the process. 1st and 15. 1:52 remaining. Mealy Breaking 2 low tackles and finally hit down at the 15-yard line. Finished off there by Del Lee.
Nice piece of running there by Rondell Mealy, finding the hole, getting to the outside, squirting, kind of water bugging running around. That's why those high knees I was telling you about, it gives him the ability to find quick cuts.
Jets used their second time out with 1:41. Yeah, perfect example there. Pretty good head of steam. A couple of guys that tried to hit him low had no success.
High knees, getting the knees up in the air. Guys dive down at you. You maintain a good center of gravity that way. And also you have the ability to step over those guys that are coming down at your feet. And you get out of traffic easier that way also. They've got to be happy with the way their running backs have performed this evening. The fullbacks have had some troubles on their lead blocks, but overall their tailbacks without Dorsey Levens have played and functioned well in this offense.
Jets could only stop the clock one more time. Mealy heading right this time. Room 10-5. Touchdown.
Big night for the youngsters here, Dave. Seventh rounders abound.
The last of the seventh rounders right there. Has had as big a night as any of them. Rondell Mealy from LSU. Puts the capper on this one. Longwell makes it. Packers 37-24 with 1:35.
Now think of all this happening in a brand new stadium.
Well, that decision is just weeks away, isn't it?
September 12th, the people of Brown County, Wisconsin will decide whether they should renovate Lambeau Field. And after a performance like this, I think without question you have to realize that in order to keep these players playing at this level and staying competitive and keeping a first-class, not only organization, but a first-class stadium, it's all around here. Vote yes, September 12th.
We've run the numbers, and you're looking at an average cost of 13 cents per citizen per day to renovate Lambeau Field.
For the first time in 50 years, Dave, Brown County residents will be able to buy tickets on a walk-up. Nice kick.
Fred Coleman will not do the Lambeau leap. Runs that one down in 1:35 for the Jets to work with. Longwell getting his congratulations. Big night for Ryan, including the longest field goal of his career. Had it been a regular season game, he would go down as such, 52 yards. The rest of the preseason, we'll see a trip to Denver, August 13th, to Miami the 21st, and back here at Lambeau to wind up on August 26th against the Cleveland Browns.
Those weekends that the Packers are out of town, Brown County residents will be able to come to the stadium and register to try to get a hold of those walk-up seats. The only ones eligible, Brown County residents.
One timeout and 1:35 to work with. 5 receivers and Lucas quarterback draw out of the shotgun. First down yardage to the 33. Clock rolling under 1.5 minutes. And Lucas coming up with a little bit of a limp and a wince. Same thing. And it hits the deck right at the first down marker again at the 42. A lot of bright spots for the Packers. Hasselbeck again outstanding in the preseason. All the running backs had their moments, and you really have to single out a couple of spectacular catches. That's a spectacular near miss there. But Bobby Brown, I think, made the catch of the night, and Driver also with his touchdown catch standing out.
On the negative side, Dave, you have to say there needs to be some work done in the interior of the Packers defense.
Running was easy, real easy, especially the first half with Curtis Martin, Richie Anderson in it. Now Todd McBride would have to be the defensive standout. 41-yard interception return for a touchdown, prevented a touchdown with a great sprint from behind. That's intended for Coles, and they're down to 4th and 1 with 49 seconds.
What would you think here, Dave, if Ray Lucas does a quarterback sneak?
I think he's a real optimist. Need a little bit more than that. It's complete, and it will be a first down for Fred Coleman. And they're going to say he didn't get out of bounds, I don't think. Nope, they keep the clock rolling. 35 seconds. Jets finally burn that last time out.
There comes a point where you almost have to take your shot to the end zone. I mean, you're down 13 points. This is one of those situations in the latter part of a game where you're 2 touchdowns down. You might as well try to get the first one quick, because waiting till the last minute does you no good. Ray Lucas discussing it with Al Groh on the sidelines, trying to figure out what motive of operandi.
Packer draft picks we've seen tonight. Bubba Franks, couple of catches in the first half. Warren, 2 standout plays in the second half, including a tipped interception. Diggs has had a nice hit. Lucas out for the year, knee surgery. Gary, the other 4th rounder, getting in some time here in the second half. And again, Mark Tauscher, the 7th round pick, started at tackle, and don't be surprised if he doesn't play an awful lot this year. That's incomplete. That will do it through the hands of Gerald Soule. I beg your pardon, second down. They didn't get the first, so second down and 10, 29 seconds. Still not going for it all yet. Lucas again, incomplete, settling short, intended for Vaughn Sanders. Not accomplishing a whole lot, even if they do make that catch. 3rd down coming.
But they are stopping the clock.
For no real purpose, they are stopping it. 25 seconds. Now they've got this burner down here bottom of your screen, Coles, sub 4.3 speed. Why wouldn't they take a deep shot at him? They go the other way instead. Incomplete, intended for Soule again. And now one more shot with 20 seconds.
Got a flag on the play, which probably will back him up out of that opportunity to take the shot towards the end zone. Oh, here we go. This is a personal foul for a chop block. One of the offensive linemen. This is unique in the last couple of years in the National Football League. We'll hear what he has to say.
Personal foul, illegal chop block, 29, offense, 15-yard penalty, 3rd down.
We're in the running back, Vaughn Sanders.
Where in the past, you know, guys used to teach this. Coaches used to teach this, where the offensive lineman will lock somebody up and then somebody chops them down. Where now, if you're engaged with another blocker, somebody else is not allowed to attack the legs.
Hopefully saving a few thousand knee ligaments in the process. 3rd and 25. Soule tries to head out of bounds and gets there with 11 seconds remaining. Knocked out by Scott McGarrahan. And it'll be 4th and 12. 11 seconds to go. Al Groh's Jets will fall to 1-1 in the preseason. 24-20 win last week over New Orleans. Come from behind victory here by the Green Bay Packers. 1, maybe 2 snaps away. Coles for the first down yardage. At 2 seconds, at 1 second, and that's it. Green Bay wins it. In Mike Sherman's maiden voyage as a head coach, 37-24 before nearly 60,000 at Lambeau Field. And let's send it down to Chris with our player of the game, Matt Hasselbeck.
All right, thanks very much, Dave. Well, Matt, you were a preseason phenom last year, second-rated passer in the entire NFL in the preseason. No rust for you after 12 months, 8 for 8 to start.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's just an exciting feeling to play here in Lambeau, and I got a taste of it last week with the scrimmage, but this is just a special place to play, and I was having a lot of fun tonight.
Mike Sherman kind of downplayed, that first game and getting the win, just wanted to play well. Yes, there are things to work on, but did the players want to make him successful in his debut?
I think so, and Mike, the whole week he said, hey, we're not going to game plan too much for them, and we play them the first game of the season, so, we still want to win, but once he got in that locker room with that pregame pep talk, he got fired up and he was ready to go.
Most players think the preseason's too long, but for you playing behind the most durable quarterback in the NFL, I'm guessing a few more games wouldn't hurt.
Well, this is my postseason. I mean, the preseason is my chance to play, and the regular season, I sit over there on the bench with the rest of the guys. So I'm just having a great time. I just feel fortunate to play in a great place like Green Bay, and we've got a great system and some great players.
Very good. Matt Hasselbeck, congratulations. We'll see you next week in Denver. He's our player of the game, 2 touchdowns, 11 for 15, 162 yards. Dave and Brian will be back to wrap up the game right after this.
Why is Gandard Chevrolet the area's only